So, who is he going to choose? Who's going to be the main man up front?
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your friend Jan. Your friend. And because I'm your friend, I hope you're doing well, really do hope that. And yes, a kind of a Chelsea news video reacting to the Liam Twomey article on The Athletic. It looks a little something like this. Enzo Maresca's big call at Chelsea, Nkunku or Jackson up front. Now this is relevant because this is what hella amounts of people have been talking about. Two very different profiles, neither a striker by trade, really, which is a crazy scenario that Chelsea find themselves in. And who to choose, and I'm very interested to learn about this situation from Twomey on The Athletic, because he's wrote some interesting stats. And you know us guys, we love stats here on the channel. Soon as well on X-Value, the statistics platform that I use, there'll be a player comparison matrix soon, which I look forward to using here on the channel, because it means not only can we compare Chelsea players with each other, but we can compare Chelsea players with all the superstars from around world football, like the European elite. You know, like next season we can be looking at Lamine Yamal versus, Esteval Willian, stuff like that. So lots of stuff to look forward to here on the channel, so do make sure you're in for the long run. Make sure you subscribe if you want to. Hey, I don't want to be pushy here, man, but you should definitely subscribe if you choose to hit the bell. And I'll always thank you for dropping a like on the video. Oh, there's about down here or something. Where's the like button? Down there? Thanks for pressing that as well. Alright, so we've been speaking about the attack. I did a video yesterday how actually the lineup to Maresca's Chelsea could be shockingly different by the time the season ends, and he's had a good gander at all the players, and he's made a educated evaluation analysis of who plays well where, what profiles most suited for Premier League football, and indeed just this team. So if you're yet to see that video, I'd recommend you seek it out, the upload before this one. So yeah, just for reference, I'm not going to run you through the whole article like this, but this is the article we'll be reading. If there is some graphs and stuff on here that I do want to show you as they come up, so I'll switch over to show you then. But let's get into it. So, Twomey writes this, jabbing his finger into his own chest, like this, as he ran towards the travelling Chelsea supporters at the Vitality Stadium. Christopher Nkunku's energy in celebrating his winning goal over Bournemouth was much as angry defiance as it was pure jubilation. He was like, I'm that guy, wasn't he? Like, because obviously he did the balloon celebration eventually once he calmed down, but he was pointing to himself, he was kicking over microphones, he was like, rah! He went full Hulk, didn't he? Quote, the reason I used Christo in that moment was I thought we were creating chances but lacked quality inside the box. Lacked quality. Chelsea head coach Enzo Maresca said after the match, explaining his decision to introduce Nkunku from the bench in the place of Nicholas Jackson in the 79th minute. So the idea was to use him as a number 9, and the idea was because any ball inside the box, we know he's a quality player and could decide the game. It's like I've been saying for a long time, to the point of nauseam, and you guys might be a bit bored of it. He's an elite finisher. He's an elite finisher in any and all capacities. He'll try overhead kicks, he'll score with both feet, he'll score glancing headers, he'll win headers in the box despite being petite, but he doesn't conventionally play as a number 9, probably because he's not that big. He is quite strong though, he uses his body and his weight and his momentum well, but he isn't the number 9, and he's not a hold-up striker. Let's read on, shall we? Nkunku revealed that Maresca had told him to enjoy your 11 minutes on the pitch. He certainly relished receiving Jadon Sancho's clever pass on the swivel, bouncing between two Bournemouth defenders, like I said, using his body really well, and poking the ball just inside Travers's far post. But the frustration that poured out of him immediately after the goal was equally understandable. Yeah, this bro hasn't played, right? Yeah. Having featured more than anyone else in Maresca's pre-season squad, Nkunku appeared primed to announce himself in the Premier League in the manner that was denied. It was denied him by last season by the succession of injuries last campaign. Instead, he has found himself in the most unexpected victim of an attacking rotation at Chelsea that became markedly more crowded in August, of course, with the arrival of Pedro Neto, Joao Felix, and Jadon Sancho. As he has been against Crystal Palace a week earlier, Nkunku was Maresca's third attacker off the bench against Bournemouth. A growing number of Chelsea fans are wondering if he should be instead the team's first choice striker. And this is stuff I've been talking about recently. Maybe Toomey watches my videos, particularly since the words of his head coach could be also viewed as an implicit criticism of Jackson. Yeah, he's basically saying, we brought on Nkunku because he's got quality. This isn't... Very, very mindful to say this isn't a Jackson hit piece. I'm very high on Jackson. I'm pleased he's extended his new deal. I think he's a really, really excellent asset to have in your squad. Sometimes he looks like he's a Chelsea starting striker. Sometimes he looks like he needs a little bit more room to mature, develop and grow, which I'm confident he will do, but... So yeah, Jackson, who drew one reasonable save from Travers, but rarely looked a threat in the Vitality Stadium. It was also, like, I think it was a match of the day. I think, was it Shearer saying he likes him, he likes his movement. You know, obviously Wright, he's not on there anymore, but they often praised Nicholas Jackson, you know, the panel of strikers that they are with Lineker. Like, yeah, he does good stuff right, he makes good runs, he's a good player, he just needs to work on his finishing. John Obi Mikel, who's been not digging him out, but he's in a bit of a weird beef with him over socials, isn't he? And he said, look, he's a good player, he just needs to work on his finishing. I think everyone can agree with that. So the lobbying for deploying Nkunku as a number 9 is as much about Jackson, who continues to be a strangely polarising figure in the grand Chelsea picture. So let's talk a little bit about Jackson. So yeah, scoring 14 non-penalty goals in his debut Premier League season helped secure a new contract that extends his stay to Stamford Bridge until 2033. Excuse me, that's a long time. The joint longest commitment in the squad, along with the improved deal given to Cole Palmer earlier this season. And yet, the Senegal international remains a popular target for mockery from rival fans, as well as a derision from vocal sections of the Chelsea support. I just want to say, of course, rival fans. He misses a few chances, he's a Chelsea striker. Cole Palmer gets mocked by rival fans, saying, some rival fans, like, oh, he only scores penalties. He's obviously an amazing footballer that does everything. Rival fans doesn't really count. Now, Chelsea support, yeah, I get how he frustrates, but I think the large collective, I'd go as far to assume that the majority of Chelsea fans are happy we've got him. Do you know what I mean? Even if not all of them think he should be starting, which is what we're talking about here. Jackson has not yet proven himself as capable of being a finisher on par with Nkunku's highest levels of efficiency. So at RB Leipzig, he scored 32 non-penalty goals, 5 point more than expected. Well, that's elite. So yeah, he's outperforming his expected goals significantly, which means he's an elite finisher. In his 2 final Bundesliga campaigns, that was on Nkunku, Jackson significantly underperformed relative to his non-penalty XG in the Premier League last campaign, scoring around 4.6 goals fewer than expected according to Opta. Which is insane, right? So if he like, you could maybe say 19, he could have scored 19 non-penalty goals if he was just on par with what was expected of him, Jackson. And again, if you put him on penalties, like just say, I don't know if he's good at penalties, say we had no Cole Palmer and just say Jackson as the striker was on penalties, he might have ended the season as 25 Premier League goals, like golden boot race, do you know what I mean? Which would have been like so different. So, but this is bad, but it's also good. He's getting into those positions. You have to like buy a ticket to be generating expected goals. It means you're doing a lot right. And you generally want to match your expected goals as like a good striker. If you're a really good finisher, you outperform your expected goals, and that is what Nkunku has been doing. This stands out relative to the top 10 scorers of non-penalty goals in the Premier League last season, although it's interesting to note Erling Haaland has also underperformed his non-penalty XG, which is important because Erling Haaland, I know he plays for the Man City super machine, but Erling Haaland does the right stuff to get into goal-scoring positions. You can say, oh, he missed a few chances. I mean, he still won the Golden Boot, but to underperforming your XG isn't good, guys. Okay, I'm not for a minute saying it's good. It's bad, but there's a silver lining to it if you're generating a high non-penalty XG. It means if you work on your finishing, you will be a bad boy. You will be top dog. You will be a sickhead. All those things. You can be all those things. Jackson's return of 2 non-penalty goals in the first 4 Premier League matches also constitutes as an underperformance this season to his 2.5, so he should be doing better. But to focus solely on finishing efficiency, which can fluctuate widely from season to season, is to relegate the single most reliable indicator of a player that has the capacity to be a prolific goal scorer. The ability to generate expected goals in the first place. Like I said, if you're generating expected goals, it means you're there. It means you're doing the right thing. Haaland was the only player in the Premier League to generate more non-penalty expected goals than Jackson. Wow. Really? Okay. That's sick. Wait, what? What about Watkins and gang? What about Watkins and gang? Okay. Wow. Sorry, I was blowing my mind. Only Haaland generated more non-penalty XG than Nicholas Jackson. Also, there were some images here. I don't know where they're gone, so I was going to show you the graphs. But that is crazy. We're just going to have to read through the text here. But that is crazy. Haaland was the only player in the Premier League to generate more non-penalty expected goals than Nico Jackson last season. There you go. It's real. I've read it twice. It exists. Even adjusting for the minutes played, so minutes played per XG, the Senegal international is 0.6 non-penalty XG per 90 minutes, which is ranked behind only, of course, the Manchester City phenomenon Erling Haaland, and then Newcastle's Alexander Isak, who of course had an incredible season last campaign, Isak. So he's just behind Isak and Haaland, and Isak's settled in the Prem now, and he's older, isn't he, Isak? He's got to be mid-20s. Pretty impressive. Jackson may not be converting his goal-scoring chances with an elite proficiency, or efficiency, should I say, just yet, but he's getting himself into the goal-scoring positions with, and here's the word, elite regularity. It is little wonder why Chelsea are so bullish on the 23-year-old who's only played as a number 9 for 18 months. Like I said, he's a recently converted winger to striker. Particularly since the composure and finishing technique are easier to learn and hone on the training pitch rather than the subtle nuances of movement, timing, and instincts. I wish... I was just thinking of Mudryk there. Like he needs to work on all that, doesn't he? None of which discount the possibility that Nkunku might be better option as a number 9 for Chelsea right now. So let's talk about this. There is an increasingly substantial body of evidence over the past 4 years to indicate he is an above average finisher. And it's hard to imagine Jackson being able to manufacture the narrow shooting window in a crowded Bournemouth penalty area as deftly as he did. Yeah, what Nkunku did there is what Haaland does. He just turns and finishes against all odds in the battle of defenders. Like that was. Do you know what that made me think of? Because there wasn't that much. Nkunku's quite a slick, graceful player, but that goal against Bournemouth, that winner, that wasn't like a graceful, slick goal. That was. Do you know what it made me think? And it might feel the same for you. It made me think Diego Costa. You know when he used to just be like, go away, and he used to just roll it in somehow. It might not be the sweetest strike. He might, just not catch it perfectly. But out of sheer just will, Costa used to score those goals. And the amount of 1-0 Diego Costa wins we had over those 2 odd years, or 3 years, was profound. The amount of points won that he won as an individual was massive, Diego Costa. I remember looking at the stats years and years ago. Incredible, really, and Nkunku has a bit of that. So for all this profiling, well, Jackson's good, he can, drift in there, he can hold the ball up better, all this kind of stuff. If you're to be honest, mate, Palmer, Neto, Sancho, friggin' Felix, Madueke, and everyone else in between are going to be getting creating goal scoring chances in the box. You stick Nkunku there. I need to sneeze, hold on. I deliberately unpaused it to catch the sneeze, just for a bit of fun. So Nkunku scored a great goal. Jackson's other skills are the bulwark. Bulwark? What does bulwark mean? Bulwark? Bulwark. I should know that. I think I know a lot of words, but I don't know what bulwark means. I'm going to look it up now. Look it up live. I ain't even going to pause the video. Bulwark. A solid wall-like structure raised for defence. Fine. So defence of his case to remain the Chelsea starter. His selfless pressing, agree. His intelligent movement, definitely agree. His improving hold-up play, yes. And his often sublime link-up play with other attacking teammates. True, he's got the flicks, he's got the instincts, just that, assist for that Cole Palmer wonder goal the other day when he flicked it over. Amazing. I'm not saying Nkunku doesn't do that. Nkunku's a very talented, skillful player as well. But Jackson is very underrated for all that. So Liam Twomey is right to highlight all this excellent stuff. He more than often than not makes it around him better, makes the other players around him better, but similar can be said to Nkunku, who does most of the same things, at least to an equivalent level. The best argument against regularly starting Nkunku as a 9 is that he has even less experience, so this is the argument against leading an attack as a lone striker than Jackson. His best 2 scoring seasons at Leipzig were achieved orbiting Andre Silva, a more traditional focal point frontman. Yes, he is not he's not going to hold the ball up. He's not a target man, and he doesn't want to be playing there. The one thing we know about Nkunku is he doesn't like playing out wide. He's been playing in the left wing, but he's not in the game. He wants to be in the central channel. Now, a striker is the central channel, but he doesn't want to be the top. He doesn't want to be the focal point. He wants to be the shadow striker, the man in behind, the little man to a big man, or even just the attacking midfielder. So it is tough. It's tough. Many of Chelsea's best pre-season moments under Pochettino in the summer of 23, of course, before he got his injury. It was him combining with Jackson, actually, and he was playing just behind Jackson. But, Maresca is not going to drop Cole Palmer, is he? Maresca would do well to get them both into the same team, but at whose expense? We've got a thousand attackers. Nkunku is not a winger, agreed. And he's also unlikely to be deployed as the left-sided number 8, as long as Cole Palmer operates centrally, not least because Moises Caicedo needs someone standing within 30 yards of him in the midfield. Agreed. Maresca's primary duty is to pick a balanced, coherent team, regardless of who's in it. Chelsea's summer transfer activity has left him with far more attacking options than Pochettino had, but also more difficult decisions. Quote, "At the end of the game, I just said to the players, Christo, Cole, Jadon, Joao, Noni, Madueke, Misha, Pedro. God, there is a lot, isn't there? They are not all going to play all the games," Maresca said. "All they need to do is exactly what they did tonight. A run of games at number 9, Jackson's expense, could mean Nkunku's future at Chelsea. Could be in Nkunku's future at Chelsea. There could simply be more cameos, appearances, and enjoyment tinged with anger." Now, let's take a moment and talk about this. I don't know what to do. I did this, I've done some posts on social media, on my Instagram. By the way, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's the same as my second YouTube channel, at Football Yannick. No, I don't have Twitter anymore, but you can see there, at Football Yannick on Instagram. Do go give us a follow there. I speak on Instagram about this, certainly spoken here on the channel. Many of you are just like, yeah, start Nkunku. And I'm down, by the way. I'm not saying that I'm going to feel bad about that. In fact, heck, I would be excited by it. I would be legit excited by it. But for all the reasons Twomey's written there, Jackson is worth sticking with for a multitude of reasons. He is getting better, even if he has the odd disappointing game, which he'll still probably do some good stuff in. Is it worth it? Okay, so I'm going to say this. Try it. Just try it. Don't say to Jackson, you're being relegated to not first choice striker. Maybe even say to him, for this game, because of this opponent. Even if you're slightly fibbing a bit, saying, look, there's stuff that Christo can do that we believe will be good against this defence. Or even just, we've got so many games. Barrow coming up. Yes, Barrow. And is it Genk? Are we playing some sort of European farmers in the Conference League, respectfully? Just start Nkunku, say that you're the starting striker. But I want to see Guy as well. Guy's in the squad, bro. He deserves a chance to play. Legit. And Guy's not going to feature in Premier League games as it stands. And that's fine because we've got the Conference League. That is such a great competition for him. So let's bun that off for a minute. Premier League games, Jacinda Jackson, you want to play every single game, G. You're going to play every single game. Even if for a few weeks, you just got to play half an hour off the bench. We want to see a few games. We just want to see a few games of Christopher Nkunku starting as a striker for 60-odd minutes. If he's completely out of the game and he looks lost and he can't play the striker role and it's not working, bro will come off at halftime. We're hard on you, Jackson. We've given you a new contract. You're going to play most games. You're going to feature in every game almost. Don't worry, we're just trying it. We want to win games here. I reckon he'd be okay with that. And it might even be good for him. It might even get inside his head and finally be like, wow, I'm not bulletproof here at Chelsea. I need to up my game. And he might just spend years on the training pitch practicing and finishing, which everybody would win. Well, what do you think though? Ooh, wrong button there. What do you think, guys? Let me know down below. Don't just be like Jackson out and Nkunku in. Think about it. What do you feel? Please leave your thoughts, feelings, and emotions in the comments. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And I do see you. Do learn to speak English. I do hope to see you back here on the channel soon. Peace.